Now, the question is somebody who is doing Tawaf, and in the course of Tawaf, he loses his ablution. What happens? Now, the first thing is ablution a shart of Tawaf or not? Is it a condition for Tawaf or not? The Jum'Ah, they are of the opinion that ablution is a condition for Tawaf. And this is based on the hadith that at-Tawafu salah illa anna Allah ahalla fi al-kalam. That salah is Tawaf. Tawaf is salah. Only that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala allows us to talk while performing it. This is reported marfu'an wa mawqufan. Is reported and ascribed to the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam as a statement, and is also reported and ascribed to Abdullah ibn Abbas radiallahu anhu as a statement. Now, the Jum'Ah of the scholars, they act by this, that for you to perform Tawaf, you must perform ablution. And if you lose your ablution in the course of your Tawaf, that means you have to go and renew your ablution. And some said you start afresh. Some said you can continue from where you stop. But the Jum'Ah, they all agree that you have to watch. You have to go and renew your ablution. But they differ. Should you start afresh or you can continue from where you stop? Sheikh Al-Albani alayhi rahmatullah, his position is somehow balanced concerning what he took with respect to the one who is observing Salah. Who is observing Salah, not Tawaf now, is observing Salah. Then he loses his ablution. What most of us know is that he will go and renew his ablution and he will start afresh. But the Sheikh says no. When he renews his ablution, he starts from where he stops. So this view is the view of the Hanafiya. And that is the favored view by Sheikh Al-Albani alayhi rahmatullah. The Jum'Ah are against that view. I'm talking of Salah now. The Jum'Ah are of the opinion that you will have to start afresh. And wallahu a'lam, the view of the Jum'Ah is weightier, that you'll have to start afresh. That is the view that we all know. When we are observing Salah now, we lose our ablution, we go and renew our ablution, we start afresh. So this is the weightier opinion. Not the opinion of the Hanafiya, which is favored by Sheikh Al-Albani alayhi rahmatullah. However, there is consistency in the position of the Sheikh. What he said concerning Salah, he transferred it towards Tawaf. Because the hadith says what? At Tawaf Salah. Tawaf is what? Salah. So the Sheikh will say, if you are performing Tawaf and you lose your ablution, go and renew your ablution and start from where you stop. So there is what? Consistency in that. So, but the Jum'Ah, who took the position that you have to start afresh after you have renewed your ablution in Salah, when they got to Tawaf, some said you have to start afresh, some said you can continue from where you stop. However, Sheikh Ibn Taymiyyah alayhi rahmatullah, concerning that hadith of at-Tawaf Salah, he said that hadith is not authentic to the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Secondly, if it is authentic to Abdullah ibn Abbas radiallahu anhu, we'll have to interpret it in such a way that we agree with what we already know. Because that statement that Tawaf is Salah, except that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala allows kalam in it, that you can talk when you are doing Tawaf, you can discuss with somebody when you are doing Tawaf. That statement is not jami', it's not encompassing, it's not comprehensive. Why? So there are a lot of things you can do while you are what? You are doing Tawaf. And Tawaf is different from Salah in many areas. in many areas. Now in Salah, for instance, you have to recite Surah Al-Fatiha. In Tawaf, you don't need to recite what? Surah Al-Fatiha. So you can, there are a lot of things that you can do in Tawaf that are not allowed in what? In Salah. So many things. So many things that you do while you are what? While you are observing Tawaf that you cannot do in Salah. In Tawaf you can laugh. While in Salah you can't laugh. So you can eat while you are doing Tawaf. You can't eat while you are what? Performing Salah. You can drink while you are performing Tawaf. So you cannot drink while you are performing Salah. So many things. So when we say illa anna Allah ahalla fi al-kalam, it will not be comprehensive. Ibn Taymiyyah said that can never be the statement of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And if Abdullah has said this, it will mean that what Tawaf is something that is very, very important. Not to the level of what. And that's why his own position is that Tawaf can be done without ablution. Yes, it is sunnah to do Tawaf with ablution, because the Messenger of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam did Tawaf when before he started his Tawaf, he had ablution. But is it a must that you must have that you perform ablution before? He said no. So based on his own position, if you lose your ablution while you are doing Tawaf, you can continue the Tawaf. You don't need to go and renew the ablution. You don't need to start afresh. You don't need to start from where you stop. After you have renewed the ablution, you can carry on. Because Tahara is not a condition for Tawaf. I hope this is clear. Wallahu alam, this appears to be the strongest opinion, particularly in situations where it will be difficult for one to even go out and come back easily. So if, take for someone who has been doing Tawaf for the past 1 hour, 20 minutes, like in the last Hajj, before you can finish your Tawaf, at times you spend like 1 hour, 20 minutes or 15 minutes before you can finish your Tawaf. So you are in the 7th circuit, you lose your ablution, then you have to go out. Then after you have gone out to renew your ablution, a scholar said you have to start afresh. Ya salam. So a scholar said, okay, you can continue from. But when we look at the explanation of Ibn Taymiyyah alayhi rahmatullah, it shows that there is no clear evidence that says at-tahara is a shartu for the validity of Tawaf. Yes, it is sunnah to do this tahara. However, there is something that we shouldn't mix up, another issue, and that is, can a menstruating woman do Tawaf? No, we have said Tahara is not shart, as said by Ibn Taymiyyah. According to Ibn Taymiyyah, can a menstruating woman do Tawaf? He is of the opinion that a menstruating woman can also not do Tawaf. Why? Not because of the position that what Tahara is what? A condition for the validity of what Tawaf. But he holds the position that a woman that is menstruating cannot enter the masjid. And the Kaaba that you are going around is what? As a masjid. And everybody agrees that the menstruating woman cannot do Tawaf. Based on what? The hadith of Sophia, when she had not done Tawaf of Wada'. And the Messenger of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam was told that Sophia had not done Tawaf. The Messenger of Allah said, Ahabisatuna here. Is she going to be the one to watch, to keep us behind? They said, Qad afadat. she had done Tawaf al-Ifadah. Messenger of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, Izan, if that is the case, he said, let's go. Because Tawaf al-Wada is not compulsory for a menstruating woman. But Tawaf al-Ifadah is compulsory on every pilgrim that is doing Hajj. So Messenger of Allah thought that she had not done Tawaf al-Ifadah. When he was told that she had done Tawaf al-Ifadah, then he said, let's go. So it is clear that a menstruating woman cannot do Tawaf. So this issue of Tahara, the Jum'Ah will say, okay, that's our point. That Tahara is what? Is a condition for. So, but people like Ibn Taymiyyah will say, no, it's because of what? It is not permissible for a menstruating woman to enter the masjid. So, Wallahu Alam. The way their opinion is that somebody does not have ablution can do Tawaf. Can do Tawaf, but it is better that he does the ablution. It is sunnah to do that, which all of them agreed upon. But is it compulsory or not? Is he a condition or not? This is where they differ. And they all agree that a menstruating woman cannot do Tawaf. What is the reason? Is it because of the fact that Tahara is a condition, or because of where she's going to do the Tawaf is a masjid, and a menstruating woman is not allowed to enter masjid, according to what the Jum'Ah of the scholars are upon. So, Wallahu Alam. Now, what is the correlation between the hadith of Sophia that Messenger of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, "Ahabisatuna here," and the hadith of Aisha radiallahu anha, who was weeping when she saw her menstruation. Now, the case of Sophia had to do with after they had concluded the Hajj rite. Messenger of Allah thought Sophia had not performed Tawaf al-Ifadah, though she had not performed Tawaf al-Wada. The Messenger of Allah mistook that for Tawaf al-Ifadah. And when he was told that it was Tawaf al-Wada that she had not performed, the Messenger of Allah said, then we can go. So, which means Tawaf al-Wada is not compulsory on a menstruating woman. But out of Aisha, they had not even got to Mecca. They were on their way from Medina. They got to a place called Sarif. It was at that point that Aisha saw her menses. And she had taken the intention of doing Hajj Tamattu. That is, she had taken the intention of doing Hajj Tamattu. So meaning she was going to perform Umrah and what? And Hajj. So she saw the menses. So when she saw her menses, that means she could not do Tawaf around the house. So and that was why she started weeping. And the Messenger of Allah saw her. He said, "Anafist, have you seen your menses?" She said, "Yes." Messenger of Allah said, "Hadha amrun katabahullah ala banati Adam." This is something that Allah has written on the daughters of Adam. He said to her, "Unkudi sha'arak," undo your hair. "Waqtasili," go and take your bath. "Wafa'ali ma yafa'alu al-hajj," do every other thing that the pilgrim does. "Ghayra alla tatufi bil bayt hatta tathuri," except that you don't do tawaf around the house until you become what? Until you become pure. So, and that's how Messenger of Allah solved the case of Aisha. She did every other thing. She became pure on the day of Arafah. The Messenger of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam left on the 25th of Zulqa'dah. They arrived in Medina on the 4th of, in Mecca on the 4th of Zulhijjah. So, 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th, Aisha was still menstruating. She became pure on the night of Zulhijjah. On the night of Zulhijjah, people are already on the plain of Arafah. How is she going to do? So she continued with them. So by the time everybody was finishing theirs, those who had the intention of tamattu, as later directed by the Messenger of Islam, they became free on the 4th after they had finished their Umrah. So they were just moving around. Those who had their wives with them could have sex with them and things like that. It was on the 8th they assumed Ihram for Hajj. So throughout the period, Aisha was in Ihram because she had not done Tawaf. So, and she did not become pure until the day of Arafah. So the period for Umrah had gone. The period for Umrah had gone. Had it been that she became pure maybe on the 3rd, on the 5th or 6th or 7th, probably she would have concluded her own Umrah too. But now she couldn't conclude her Umrah because the Tawaf of Umrah she could not do. So she took the Tawaf of Umrah the Tawaf that she couldn't do, that went towards Arafah. Then the Hujjaj, the pilgrims, they will have to do Tawaful Ifado again. Making Aisha will be having 2 Tawaf to do. One for the Umrah, the other for the Messenger of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam instructed her to take her intention to watch, to be, not that he instructed her, but later when she complained that, "Oh Messenger of Allah, I eventually did just 1 Tawaf, which is the Tawaf al-Ifada." And she knew that maybe the people did 2 Tawaf. Those who do Tamattu, they did 2 Tawaf. She eventually did 1. So she was not happy. She said people will be going home with Umrah and Hajj. Then I will be going home with just 1, with Hajj. So her conclusion was that she did not do Umrah. The Messenger of Allah said Yasaruki tawafuki bil bayti wa bayna Safa wal Marwa. That is the tawaf that you have done, the one you eventually did between the circumambulation that you did and the sa'i between Safa is Yasaruki and Hajjik wa Umratik. They are enough for for your Umrah and your Hajj. Meaning she ended up doing Kiran. Kiran. Somebody who did Kiran, who combined Hajj and Umrah together, who do just 1 Tawaf and 1 Sa'i. That is what compulsory on him or her. So Messenger of Allah did Kiran. The reason he did Kiran was that he took sacrificial animal with him. So this prevented him, when he ordered the companions to change their intention to Umrah, to Tamattu, he could not because of the sacrificial animal he had taken with him. But Aisha could not do that because she was not pure. So they both ended doing Kiran. But Aisha was not pleased with that Kiran. So she started saying that people who go home with Hajj and Umrah will go home with ordinary Hajj. The Messenger of Allah ordered the brother Abdulrahman to take her to Tan'im so that she could assume another intention for For Umrah. So that she will have separate Umrah. Not Umrah that is merged with Hajj. So the difference between that of Sophia and Aisha was that Aisha was before the completion of the Hajj rites, while that of Sophia came later. Now, another question is, what if a woman who assumes Ihram and later sees a period, or even before she assumes Ihram, she has seen a period. Now, if she sees a period before she assumes Ihram, that does not stop her from assuming Ihram. The only thing is that she cannot do tawaf, as we have said. Now, what if this period does not cease till the end of the Hajj rites? What's she going to do? We said she's going to do every other thing, but that of tawaf. So according to the Jum'Ah of scholars, she will have to wait till she becomes pure to do what? The tawaf. And the hadith of Sophia buttresses this. The Messenger of Allah said, Ahabisatuna here, is she going to watch? Delay us? That shows if a woman is to do a tawaf and she has not finished a period, she will have to wait to do the tawafu al-ifada. If the tawafu al-wada, we say there is no problem with that. So this is what most scholars are upon. But now there are people who are accompanying her. Take for instance, maybe the relatives that are with her, the mahram. Are they going to wait because of how they have some other things to do? Some scholars said, well, we can't force them to wait for her rather. She should go with them. But she should know that she's still what? A muhrima. So meaning the husband cannot have sex with her. So she cannot apply perfume. She can. Or we say she cannot do, if she's not married yet, she cannot get married, as a lot of scholars have said, because she has not done tawaf. Meaning she will have to come back to do it maybe in 2 years' time, in a year time, 3 months later. Because we can't force those people to wait for her. So some said they should wait for her. So Ibn Qayyim alayhi rahmatullah in Zad al-Ma'ad brought about 8 opinions of scholars on it. However, Sheikh Ibn Taymiyyah alayhi rahmatullah said, if that is the case, it is not okay for her to do tawaf, not because tahara is what? A necessity, but because what? Because she's not pure, because of the masjid. He said, in that case, she can do the tawaf daruratan and go. So this is a strange opinion of Sheikh Islam Ibn Taymiyyah alayhi rahmatullah. So which the Jum'Ah do not support, and which most scholars do not support. Because even that of Sophia, Messenger of Allah said, Ahabi satuna here. Now, we are looking at the fact that the people cannot wait for her, that we can't force people to wait for her. And we can't say she should remain there. Traveling without mahram after she had finished that, things like that. So the Sheikh says, then she can do the tawaf and go. You can do the tawaf and go. Sheikh Al-Albani alayhi rahmatullah, who goes with the view of the majority as well, has some comments on that. He said, when we say the people cannot wait for her, let's assume she falls ill. She falls ill, she becomes what? Ill and things like that. Would they wait for her? They will abandon her and go. The Sheikh says, if they are going to wait for her to treat her, then why can't we ask them to wait for her? If they truly love her, this is ibadah. They should be able to wait for her till she's what? She's true, and she does the tawaf and go. So rather than saying what? Maybe she should do the tawaf in that situation that is with her menstruation. So then in addition, it is easier these days that she will have to change the flight. Because some may say, what if the flight is she's going to miss the flight. She already books the flight and it has a return date. So since this has happened, what are we going to say? Then it is easier to change what? The flight date. The only thing is that she's going to spend more money in that. What if she cannot afford the money to change the flight? So that will be, we'll go back to the necessity that you have said. As you have said that Sheikh Ibn Taymiyyah rahmatullah has that view, so we may go to that or still find a solution. Maybe the relatives should go and gather money in order to change the flight. Now, as for using drugs in order to delay the coming of the period, the menses, this, there is no harm in that as long as it does not have any medical side effects on the lady. So there is nothing wrong in that. The only aspect is it going to affect her medically? If there is no any implication, medical implication, negative implication, then there is no harm. As for whether there is a scholar that says it should be waived, I don't know of the scholars. I can't recollect if there is a scholar that says it should be waived, because it can be waived because it is a pillar. It is a pillar. After Arafah, the next thing that is important is the Tawaf. So how can we say we waive it? So Allahu A'lam.
The Guidance Facebook page. Follow, like, and share.